Do you put your travel plans, do you put your life on hold because of this? Well, earlier I spoke with travel expert Peter Greenberg about traveling during the swine flu outbreak. Check it out. Do those women have the right idea? They're not concerned, and they're traveling to Mexico.
You know what? They should be concerned, but they also have the right idea. It's basic common sense and personal hygiene. At this point, be aware of what's going on. Practice good personal hygiene. Wash your hands as early and as often as you can, no matter whether there's a flu outbreak or not, and you'll be okay.
Mexico's not the only country affected. I mean, there are other countries. I mean, New Zealand, people travel there, a beautiful country. What are other countries doing around the country as precaution?
Well, first of all, Tokyo right now, if you're coming off the plane from anywhere in North America, there's somebody there at the jetway with a device that's going to measure your temperature. If you register on that, you might be quarantined. Russia's announcing the same thing. And you also have China, that they were doing that after the whole SARS crisis. I won't call it the SARS outbreak because there never was an outbreak. The crisis was nobody was going.
Yeah, that's nobody, and not many people were flying. So when you get off the plane and they check your temperature, the airlines are doing that as the government.
No,
What's the airline?
The government is doing it.
What's the airline? What are the airlines doing?
What the airlines are doing, almost all of them in the United States are allowing, they're waiving any penalties or cancellation fees if you don't want to go to Mexico right now. That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, you know, it reminded me of something. When people, did they take people's temperature, or they went through a thing, and if your temperature was high during SARS, they wouldn't let you go on or something?
That's the quarantine issue.
Yeah.
The real issue right now is what are the hotels doing, because it's one thing for the airlines to waive the fees. Hotels are on a case-by-case basis. If you've got a deposit at a hotel, do you go or not go if you're not going to get your deposit back?
Okay, you said they've got the right idea because they have the right to travel. We're talking about those two ladies, but they should be concerned. All right, here's the bottom line.
Okay.
Travel or not?
Right now, I say travel.
You say travel?
I do.
There, you heard it from the expert advice. Anything else you want to offer? Because I know you're the expert traveler, because a lot of people travel this time of year.
Sure. You know, my philosophy, it's going to sound somewhat politically insensitive, is anytime there's an emergency, a civil disturbance, or just a crisis like this that may or may not be in fact, what a great time to go. Great service, great opportunities, and as long as you practice great personal hygiene and common sense, you'll have a great time.
Like after I shake your hand, I should probably wash them, but
I'll do the exact same thing.
We're old friends. Peter and I used to work together many, many moons ago, and it's good to see you again here in New York City. Thank you very much. Peter Greenberg, our travel expert. Well, Fran Townsend can help us understand how the Obama administration is addressing the swine flu. She counseled President George W. Bush on viral outbreaks as his Homeland Security advisor. She joins us tonight from Washington, D.C. Thank you. And she is a CNN's national security contributor, so we appreciate you joining us. So, Fran, what is your take on how before I ask you about how the Obama administration is handling this so far, it caught our attention when one of the officials said that they fear there will be deaths in the U.S. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think they're right to prepare the American people. We've seen at least 20 confirmed deaths in Mexico and upwards of 80 deaths, not all of those confirmed. I think you can expect each day, each hour, we see more confirmed cases across the U.S. We now have confirmed cases in Canada. And I think you're going to continue to get news of confirmed swine flu cases. And it's just the likelihood is the more cases you get, the more likely you are to see more severe illness. So I think they're right to prepare the American people to expect that.
Okay, here's the interesting thing. When we had the 8 students who were confirmed here today, I think people are concerned because they really don't know how these people got it, and that's a concern. So the fear level here, how can you speak to people about that?
Well, look, I think Mayor Bloomberg is doing exactly the right thing. As we've heard from Susan Candiotti up in New York, no question these children got sick. It was not severe. They've recovered. The school has taken the right steps about cleansing and cleaning of the school. Mayor Bloomberg has decided not to close schools tomorrow. We need to watch it, though, because what we found when we studied the response to the 1918 pandemic was social distancing. That is the canceling of public gatherings and the canceling of school, like we've seen where there's a severe outbreak in Mexico, is one of the most effective things you can do. I think Mayor Bloomberg's right. There's no indication that's necessary now in New York, but we'll have to see. As more cases get reported, we may need to see localities take those sorts of measures.
You know, Ms. Townsend, in these instances when these sorts of illnesses pop up, you know, with the avian flu and with SARS and what have you, people sort of have gotten used to it and they go, oh, you know, it's something that'll pop up and then it goes away. This one seems to be happening a lot faster. I'm seeing a lot more people, just from my experience, getting sick very quickly.
No, I think that's right. They say that from the time of exposure to the time you actually show symptoms is somewhere around 48 hours. It does come on quickly. The good news is so far, Don, it seems to go away quickly. And most of the children who were treated in New York didn't even require antiviral treatment. They just sort of lived through it. But again, I mean, I think people need to be alert to things like the sort of general hygienics of washing hands and making sure you're covering yourself when you cough or sneeze. Those things can actually be very helpful in limiting exposure. And,
you know, I was trying to get the number of what exactly the government was doing to try to get a vaccine for this. But obviously it doesn't appear, Tamiflu doesn't appear to work with this. So talk to us about the government's response when it comes to this, because we really don't have a vaccine so far. How long will it take them to catch up, and can they?
Well, they can catch up, and I think they've begun the preliminary steps to do that. Actually, Don, our understanding from public health officials is that Tamiflu and Relenza, another antiviral drug, are effective against this. One of the things you do is you use it to treat someone who is ill. That's the first use of it. And it helps limit the amount of time one is sick and helps one to recover. The other reason to use it, it can be used, and instead of a quarantine, you use it prophylactically to protect people who may have been exposed, to prevent them from getting ill. And so the government will have to begin to decide how to use its strategic stockpile, both for treatment and for prophylaxis, to prevent the spread of it.
So it does work. Relenza and Tamiflu will work. Thank you. Fran Townsend is a former advisor to the Bush administration and is now here with us at CNN. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Don.